Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Wednesday, everybody. I am here. Here I am. Oh, yes, amazing. I've got something to show you. And it's pertinent to our guest today. Pertinent, that's a big word for a Wednesday, isn't it? How are you all doing? First past the post this morning in the comments is the incredible Lisa J. Good morning. How are we doing? I'm a bit squeaky this morning. I've no idea. In fact, I do know why. Yesterday, I was in back-to-back one-to-ones between my speaker mastermind and the Rockstar Level Up. There was yesterday was just a ramble with one-to-ones, amazing breakthroughs, people really coming to stand in the front of their brands like the badasses that they are, and also getting ready for our speakers, or getting our speakers ready for Be Inspired, which I want to talk to you about this morning. So good morning, Emma Roscoe in the house. Hello to all of the usual suspects, and hello to all of the people that are new, that are watching this morning. Sandy, hello, welcome. I know Sandy's watching from over in Spain. Where are you watching from in the UK? Look, I've not got my weatherboard ready. Look, that's how busy I was yesterday. In fact, I went at it, and I don't want a chufty badge. This is not me asking for a badge of honour for working ridiculous hours here. But I ended up working yesterday from the beginning of the show till 10:30 last night. I didn't move from here. So today it is my intention to make sure I get out of this chair and go and get outside, because it is scorching in Preston this morning. Tell me what the weather's doing where you are in the world. I love you too, Lisa. Bless you. Good morning, Kelly Williams in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Amy Mantle is here. Emma Louise, good morning. Good morning, Sam Clarke. Good morning, Katie Page. Hello, everybody. I hope you are well. What's the weather doing like where you are in the UK? Let me rep you over here on the board. So, last night, it's sunny in Rainham. Let's get some sunny bees. I've got a feeling it's going to be a little bit scorchio today, and I'm here for it. We need a little sunshine in our lives, don't we, my loves? So last night, and I'm not getting into the politics and the wheres and the whys and the why-fors and how just so fucking confusing the whole thing is, but there was an announcement last night with regards to social gatherings, okay? Social gatherings. That's people meeting up for shits and giggles. Now, on the 15th of October, we have Be Inspired, which is a business and work and educational event, which means as we are fully COVID compliant, we are still okay to proceed. So lots of you got in my inbox last night, this morning, saying, what's going on with Be Inspired? Nothing is going on with Be Inspired. Everything is still on track. We are all still good. We are fully COVID compliant. We'll be social distancing. There'll be masks supplied for people. There'll be lapels saying, don't hug me, or however it is that you want to roll. And there'll be hand gels on all the tables. Everybody will be socially distanced. We've got, I think, about 5 more tickets, and then we are at capacity. We won't be able to sell any more, but we are fully COVID compliant, an educational and work event. So we are okay to proceed. You will be pleased to know. Thank God, because I don't want to move the bloody thing again, and I just jinxed it by saying it out loud. But as far as things go, as today stands, everything is going ahead, which I'm super excited about. So we've been working with the speakers, all of which are absolutely phenomenal, getting them ready. We had our videographer come in the group last night. We've got a fantastic videographer coming in to film everybody's show reels. It's just going to be an absolutely incredible day of breakthroughs, of celebration, motivation, and education, because it is an educational and business event. Right. So just FYI, in case anyone was having a little panic, no one's having a little panic. We're all right. We're all zen up in her about Being Inspired. So if you do want to get a ticket, there are 5 tickets left, and then we are sold out, because we are keeping our numbers very, very low to make sure that we can be completely COVID-19 compliant. So just as an FYI, that's where we are at. Let's have a little look at what the weather's doing where you are. It's Scorchio over in Norfolk. We've got you over in Norfolk, Diane Ivory. It's cloudy in Northampton. I think I'm just going to pop Northampton here for a laugh. I'm going to make the geography up today if I don't know where you are. We've got, do you know what? We're Scorchio everywhere today. There we go, over in Dani in Yorkshire. It's a little rainy in Howden, North Wales, but the sun is now shining. That's all right. We'll sort North Wales out with a little Scorchio there, Kelly. Cool but sunny near Banbury. I think we've sorted Banbury. If not, we'll do that. We'll sort it out there. It's dull in Derbyshire. Oh, no. Don't go mucking up my sunny aesthetic here, Sandra, with your dull and like it's a bit shittiness. So I hope you are all well. I hope you are all well. So can you believe? Oh, we've got Tisha in the house. She's joining us on Friday. Good morning to you, my angel. Can't wait to catch up with you on Friday. Govinda, good morning. Oh, you're all here. I love it. It's hot, hot, hot over in Spain where Sandy is. There we go, repping our international bees. It's scorchio in Blackpool. We've got you. We've got you, Amy. Preston and Blackpool, they're like little sisters, aren't they? Sitting next to each other like that. Look at this, scorchio. Except Derbyshire. But shush, Derbyshire. You just pipe down. We'll pretend it's Scorchio where you are as well. So, my angels. The sign-ups for the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge went live yesterday. We have had 150 people sign up, which is amazing. We are going to get rocking and cockling in there the Friday before the 28th. So that's the 25th. The doors will open to the group. But if you do want to take part in the free Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge, if you are wanting to speak about your business better, if you wanted to reach more people, if you wanted to make more money that way, and I don't just mean paid speaking gigs, I just mean about speaking about what it is that you do. If you don't talk about what you do, how on earth are you going to have anybody knowing what it is that you do and knowing, like, and trust you so that they can buy from you? Now more than ever, doing things like this, getting involved in things like interviews, in podcasts, in radio, in all of that sort of stuff helps you position yourself as the expert in your field. And that is what I'm on a mission to help as many of you guys do, especially now. Loads of you missed the boat back in March when we launched last, and I don't want that to happen again. So if you do want to get amongst the challenge, if you just check along the bottom, do you check along your bottom? It says on the ticker along, if you want to join the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge, it is the queenbeedani.cartry.com/page/Be Heard Challenge. It's not a very snappy link, I'm afraid. However, what we will do is we will make sure that the link is in the comments for you, which I will do presently whilst I'm having a little bit of a talk to you. So we are on Hump Day. We always, do you know what? We feel pretty decent about Hump Day here in the Hive, because it's just another day to go rip it up. Like, what? I do not subscribe to the fact that things have to be a slog in the midweek. I get excited in the midweek. Tuesday is my busiest day. I get excited. Let's go about it in order. Monday is one of the days that I'm most excited about because I do get excited about a fresh week. Tuesday tends to be my most work intensive day. So it's like it's so far away for the weekend either side that you've just got to be in it, haven't you? And Wednesday is kind of similar, but with the added extra that we are kind of over the hump and getting excited about the weekend again. I'm not one for wishing my life away. So I don't really like going, oh, it's the hump day. Let's get over the hump. Let's get over the slog. When actually, it's all right, isn't it? We like a Wednesday. If anybody, does anybody remember, what's her name? Oh, Lisa Loeb. Lisa Loeb. She was she had an American singer back in the mid-90s, early 90s. She sang the song I Miss You. And then she had an album called 9 Stories. And there's a song in there called Waiting for Wednesday. And I love it. That is the link to the sign up to the challenge just in there. Let me know if you are going to be joining us for the challenge. And without further ado, I want to bring our guest on to the show. So it's funny because when people come and join on my show, they go, oh, I'm dead nervous. I'm dead nervous. I'm on your show. You guys, the majority of you that are on this show are my friends. Like the majority of you on this show are people who I've had conversations with or virtual brews with or I've hugged in real life. Or I find it so funny that when it comes to this show particularly, people go, oh, I'm really nervous. I'm on Dani's show. Like, we're just going to have a brew and a chat and wake up together and get ready for the workday together. So this lady is absolutely it's like we've had many a conversation. We are friends. I consider her a friend of mine. She's a friend of the show. She's a friend of the Hive and also a friend to many of you guys watching along too. Please welcome to the show the fabulous Clarke. Good morning.
Hello, everybody. Hi, are you all right?
She's like, oh, you told everyone I was nervous.
I don't think it's nervous about being me with you. I think it's nervous because we're on the telly.
We're on the fake telly on Facebook, look.
Yeah.
It does feel like the telly, though, doesn't it, when it's all set up like this? I love it.
Yeah.
It's sure a certain hope that one day someone will pick me up and go put me on the real telly.
Yeah,
We'll just keep going with the fake telly show till then.
Absolutely.
Thank you for getting up early and coming to join me this morning, my angel.
Thank you. I've had to get the husband to do the school run. So I'm like, no, doing the school run today. It's like, oh,
am I? Yeah, you are. Go do the school run. Like, what else would he be doing? My husband's the same. Wallace is the same. A couple of weeks ago, he was like, so what's going to happen when the girls go back to school? And I was like, what do you think is going to happen when the girls go back to school? Do you do anything at 8 o'clock in the morning? No? Okay. Guess who's doing the school run? Although we are going to change it. We're going to make it a little bit later.
Yeah. Is that because people are on the school run?
Because everybody else is on the school run apart from me. Although we've got loads of you watching this morning. So very good morning to you if you are new to the show. Very good morning to you if you are a regular. Or if you do just dip in and out. Claire has come to talk to us this morning about the things that she does. And also the story that got her to doing the things that she does. Mm-hmm. So Claire, tell us in the first instance, what do you do? What do you do?
I help predominantly female entrepreneurs stand out, increase their brand awareness, increase their income with a passive income stream with branded products.
Nice. Yeah. Branded products, of which I have from you. In fact, I'm going to sit on the spike. Was I one of the first people to grab one of these from you when you? I'm a trailblazer. Check me out.
You were, and I was, so grateful in that. When you're starting out and you just need someone to trust you, just say, come on, trust me here, let's do this. You're like, yeah, I'm all in, let's do it.
So I am a huge fan of corporate gifting, fan of corporate gifting. When people come to my events, when people come and work with me, I love a great experience. And from years in corporate, I used to absolutely love it when I would receive gifts. In fact, day before yesterday, hang on a sec, let me show you. I've been nominated, can you believe, for the Great British Entrepreneur Awards, and I've received a box through the post with loads of little bits of swag in. I love it. I think it makes people feel special. It makes people feel thought about, and I am a huge fan.
Yeah.
So because of the nature of my business, notebooks make a lot of sense because I talk lots, and I have at my events, we do lots of training, we do lots of teaching, and lots of education, and we need somewhere to keep these golden nuggets that we retrieve from these events. So I got one of these. Look, like these. So these were one of the first notebooks that you made as part of your business and the direction that you're going in now, right?
Yeah.
So these are the I Am the Queen Bee notebooks that you can get from Amazon. If you put Fly Anyway notebook, it should just come up.
Put Dani Wallace in. Put nearly anything around, any words around Dani Wallace, and it should come up. Yeah.
I love it. Right. So what I want you guys to do, this is shameless now, but go onto Amazon. If you're go onto Amazon and go and check, and you will find that my little notebook. In fact, my notebook's on Amazon. My little book isn't on Amazon. You can only get my little book from my website, but this is on Amazon. And it's brilliant for those people who have been to an event and they've filled up these because the reason why I chose the sizes, it's my favorite size to write in. It's smaller than A4, bigger than A5.
Yeah.
So it's A6. Is that right? Is it A6?
It's called Royal.
Royal, of course it is.
Yeah. It's called Royal.
This is the Royal size.
So it's like 6 and a bit by 9 and a bit inches.
So it's my favorite size to write in. So when people come to my events, they fill these up, they use these, they've got something that's branded that's nearby that they end up using. Like, I love a notebook anyway. And then when they get to the end of it, they're like, I miss my Queen Bee notebook. Like, where can I get another one? And you can go on Amazon and go and buy it. So you get these gifted when you come to events, but also you can go and grab hold of one of these. And I found it to be a really, really useful tool. And this is not just me sat here blowing smoke up Claire's arse. It was something that I really, really needed. And lots of us now more so than ever want to support local businesses, small businesses.
Yeah.
And I just think it's a beautiful way to do it. So I'm having all of the box ticked for me. So how has it been going?
It's been going really good. These last couple of weeks have just been like, hold on to the chair while you're going. Yeah, it's kind of, it's started slowly, and it's just going really, really fast. It's good. I'm really enjoying it. It's super exciting.
I think it's when you tap into something that you really like doing and you really believe in.
Yeah.
I think when you really, really believe in the thing that you're doing or the product and service that you're providing, you can't help but just kind of share it with people. And that's why it's important, for you to do things like this, go and tell people about it. Because
it was in front of me for so long. Like, I've been doing it for a long time before I started. Like, before I did yours, I've been doing it for a long time, but not in the same way. It was like practically a hobby, but it was right there in front of me, and I was like, oh, what's my thing? What's my thing? What's my thing? It's like, I'm here. I was like, oh, it's that thing right in front of me. I missed it. Like, what? Yeah. I love doing this. Why am I not doing this for the people? And it went from there.
So, excuse me. So how does it work then? So I know that lots and lots and lots of you that are out there watching at home, I know that you guys want notebooks and planners, because you talk to me about it all the time. People post about it in the Hive all the time. Like, your name always gets tagged. Who makes planners? Who makes notebooks? I want to support somebody in the Hive. And, like Clarke's the first name that always comes up. What is involved in the process of creating a notebook or a planner? Because planners are more involved.
Yeah,
but planners like writing your own book, isn't it?
Yeah. So people come to me at different kind of, I call it a sliding scale. So everybody that come to me wants to get their book published, and they some people realize or don't realize that the system that I use is print on demand or print to order, which means you create the book in a digital format, you put it on a digital bookshelf, and it's not printed. There's no outlay. It's not printed until somebody comes along and buys that book. And then Amazon print it, Amazon post it, and it goes out there, and then they send you your royalties. And a lot of people go, oh, that's genius. What's the catch? There isn't a catch. It doesn't cost anything to put it on there. It doesn't cost, you don't have to be buying books in bulk. You don't have to have them. If you want to, you can have them like yourself. If you want to have them so that you can give them as gifts or sell them hand to hand, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
But the print to order, print on demand gets called different things. I love that. It's genius, because for entrepreneurs like you, like me, lots of people that are on here, we don't necessarily want to have piles of stuff all the time.
We don't have room for lots of stock. We're working out of our houses, a lot of us. Look at me, I'm working out my bedroom.
Yeah. And then it's like, and there's other things that come with that. It's going to the post office. It's finding the packaging. Packaging can be a nightmare, and that can be costly as well. But when it's all print on demand, you just create it as a digital thing. You put it out there, you tell the world about it, and then they're sold. So when people come to me like, do you know what, I want a line notebook, I know what I want on it, I know what I want on it, I know what my branding is, I know what I want it to say. So then I help you get that into the right format for printing, send it me over, I set it all up, I get it on the publish account for you, get it all on Amazon for you, get it all set up, and then it's away and away it goes, and then the royalties come to you every month. So it's genius. Sometimes people come to me with a maybe they are already running a course or a workshop, and they're already putting out planner sheets or worksheets as PDFs, digital downloads, and they're asking people at the other end to print them off.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you know what, that would be amazing if it was all in a book.
Yeah.
So that it just feels nicer, it's all together, it's all in one thing. So some people come to me that I've got my content, I know what it is, and then again we put it through the same system and get it published.
Yeah.
And then some people come to me like, I know I want a planner for this, and I think it needs to have this, this, and this. So I help them, and I'm like, right, okay, well, let's start by mapping it out. So then we'll literally get pieces of paper, and we'll draw out they will draw out they know they want this sheet, they know they want this sheet. And when I do it, I suggest a way of doing planners is that you get an A4 ring binder and use A4 paper, even if your book's not going to be A4, and you work out your planner pages on those pages, if you like.
Yeah.
Because you're in the ring binder, if you then decide, actually, I want this section somewhere else, you can just unclip it and you can move the pages around to get a real feel of what it is.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, when you make a planner, you want to make, sometimes you'll want certain pages facing each other, and sometimes you want it on the other side. And when you do it on a Word document or whatever, sometimes it's hard to think, what side of the book am I on?
Where it's going to be.
Yes. But if you've got it in front of you, a piece of paper, you can literally turn the pages and go, so this is what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's funny, you know, Ivy made a book. So when I was writing my book the other week, Ivy made a book, and she did it like that. She like drew it all out, and I'm thinking, I would actually prefer to if I could just see the pages as they were going to happen like that, because as I was writing it on Word, it was because I was writing excuse me, the size of a book, and I'm like an A5 book, and it was 3 pages next to each other reading down like this, and I'm like, where am I? Like, which page am I looking at? What's that reader experience going to be? And I think that being able to do that helps you get into that. What is it that I'm actually giving them in that moment? It's a bit different. It's a wordy book, so there's just words either side. But having like a planner specifically,
because you might want to have time blocking for the week over 2 pages.
Yeah,
they need to be facing each other. You don't want Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday here on this side, Thursday, Friday on the other side. You need to be able to see them all, don't you? Yeah. So then people will either, I've had somebody actually sent me the whole thing, in the postman. That's it, sending it, signed for. Yeah,
I love it.
Sometimes people take photos, that kind of, and then, you know, so the other end of the service is I can then, if they're like, do you know what, I haven't got the time or the inclination to actually do the layout for it, I know what I want, here it is, then I'll do that, I'll put that together and I'll make that a planner, and then the same process, and the way it goes. Yeah.
So, I mean, and there's different ways that you deliver this as well. And we're going to get on to like how you came to this in just a sec, but there's different ways that you can deliver this. So it's like, for me, for example, I got in touch and I was like, Claire, your girl needs a notebook. Let's sort a notebook out. Now I'm dead lucky because Wallace does all the design and everything like that. We knew how we wanted it to look, and you know, all of that kind of business. So it was relatively easy. You now teach people how to put this all together so that they can do it for themselves, so they don't have to be relying on you to do the process. You actually teach them a skill that they can get all sorts of, you know, they can do a planner or they can do a notebook, and they can actually set it up and do it all themselves, not have to even rely on you as a middle person to do it.
Well, you can make absolutely, so the books I kind of do, the kind of books I do, or any book you would write inside. So we're also not constrained to planners and notebooks. We're thinking about trackers, journals, gratitude journals, you know, any kind of logbook, whether you're in health or fitness. I mean, it can literally be for absolutely any business. You know, when I go on like guest speaker slots and I talk about in specific what I do, I say, tell me in comments what your business is and put me on the spot. See if I can come up with an idea of what you would have, because there's literally something for anyone. And when you are making something like a planner or a journal or a workbook, and you might be thinking, right, what do I do? What do the people I serve want?
Well, what do they need as well? What would be handy for them?
Yeah, and if you are putting somebody through a journey or a sequence or a pathway, and you want to help keep them on that pathway, what do you normally give them to do that? And can that be in a book? Because if that's in a book, they're not going to get lost on that pathway. They're going to have more success. If they have more success, you have more success, you know, and that's the thing. And the other thing is, the other people that you can sell to, the audience you can leverage is, who are the other people that do what you do? I mean, don't give away your secrets, but let's say you are a health and wellness coach and you've created a planner for your clients. Actually, if your planner is helping your clients, then can you leverage other health coaches? Because if that's helping them, then you can sell that to them as well. Does that make sense? So you've got 2 sides of the coin you can actually you know, leverage to.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're positioned as the expert in your field, and you I've got a frog in my throat this morning, and say you have a planner, you can then say to other people in your field, oh, there's this planner here that's going to be dead helpful. In fact, you can even make it like an industry standard for your field, which is clever.
You're going that way and you're going that way. So you're not just like, oh, I've only got this audience here, but who else does what you do?
Absolutely. And right, I want to know from you guys that are watching out there, who is a stationery addict? Lisa's a stationery addict. I love a notebook.
And that's the other thing about, out of all the branded items you could have, who doesn't love a notebook? So you're not going to make somebody be like, well, it's cool, but I don't really like XYZ.
I don't really use notebooks.
I don't really wear baseball caps or whatever, you know. Yeah, I don't use a notebook. Some people don't. Some people are very, very purely digital, but it's very, very few. And lots of people absolutely, love station, don't we? We just love it.
There's nothing. So when you like, for when I'm teaching, when you write things down, even if you don't refer back to them, when you write them down as well as listening, as well as learning, you absorb 30% more of what it is that you're learning. So it's interesting, isn't it? Like even as a tool for learning, notebooks are just the ace. When I remember being shouted at when I first started in corporate. I went to a meeting without a notebook, and the manager was brilliant. One of my favorite managers of all, taught me loads about business. And it was like, never turn up to a meeting without a notebook, Dan. Never turn up to a meeting without a notebook. And I was like, and I never have since. Even if I'm not writing it, it's there, and I feel like it's there. I was suitably admonished, and that was me. I'm a notebook everywhere I go now. So you have this package where you can get in touch with you, you can build your planner, you can build your notebook. You've got this course where you teach people how to create all that for themselves. But what brought you to that? Because this is new. This is new in terms of how you're delivering it. It's not new in terms of like your knowledge and your expertise and how long you've been in the business. But this is in terms of offering it to the people that you're offering it to now. So what brought you to that? Because I mean, your story is incredible.
Well, a lot of people on here can probably relate to this. I felt like I was poking around for what felt like forever to find exactly what was my thing in business.
Yeah.
So I've been self-employed for a long, long time. So I used to be a wardrobe mistress. I used to tour around with theatre productions, and that was amazing. And the money was great. And I was single. And I had no children, and I spent all the money each week, and it was a super cool lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I did that for a long time. And then what happened after that? Oh, well, then I met a man, and then things changed. Don't you meet a man, and then
it's always them in it.
And then you get a dog, and then that's a slippery slope. Once you've got a dog, you know what's coming next. There's a baby coming next, isn't there?
You get a plant.
And then I had my son, who's 9 now. I had my son, and at that point, I was like, well, I don't want to be living out of a suitcase, be away for 6-8 months at a time. That life doesn't really suit me. So I took what I knew from being a wardrobe mistress and costume and sewing, and I made costumes from home. And then I decided to open my own sewing school. So I taught people locally how to use their sewing machines, like a beginner, like this is how to thread it up, this is how to do your stitches. And I loved it. And I've always loved helping people learn how to do something. I love seeing how happy they are when they go out and they're like, I can do this now.
When they nail it, they're like, oh, they're a little trusty badge they made up.
Like, yeah. And that was super, super cool. And I did that for a while. And I also dabbled in a little MLM while I was doing that, and was successful at that. And then I was pregnant with my second child, with my daughter. And it all went a bit tits up, really. Is the underestimated way of saying it.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a
bit more than that, really. But yeah,
way of saying it.
Yeah, so I got to the end of my pregnancy and I went into labour, and she died during labour. Yeah. And it didn't just take the carpet from under my feet; it took the whole world from under my feet. Yeah. And I went from that person who would be, if there wasn't a baby group on, I would start it, and I'd be like, "Come to this baby group!" Da, da, da. And if there wasn't I also ran before that I ran an in-person networking group locally. I would be the person that would stand at the front and be like, "Yeah, let's do stuff." And I went from that to literally someone who was scared of the noise of traffic going down the street.
Yeah,
I was struggling to take my son to school. Huge PTSD. PTSD, have I said that right?
PTSD,
yeah. Anxiety, depression, and I just didn't know who I was. I had in my head that my path was going to be, I was going to have a little boy, a little girl. I've got my sewing school. I've got my business. I'm going to grow this, and this is me going along this path. And I was like, what now? Where do I go from here? It's like,
what do you do? How even do you be after that? That's the thing. Like, where do you go? Where do you go after that? Claire, it's just there aren't any words, are there? There aren't any words. There's not even a word for it.
Yeah, I mean, just to add another, I mean, you don't know about this bit as well, but just to add more fuel to the fire, just 6 weeks before, my sister-in-law, her baby died at 24 hours old as well. So my husband's brother, and we were like, so we were pregnant at the same time. Her baby died. And then I was thinking, but it won't happen to us, especially think that it's just happened in our family.
Yeah, like the law of statistics. It sounds awful, but
yeah, my midwife even said to me, like, you know, you're fine, don't worry, you've got more chances of winning the lottery. Every time I see her, I still say jokingly, I've not won the lottery yet. You told me I'd win the lottery. And, you know, you'll be fine, you'll keep you calm. And then when it all happened, I mean, you know, everyone was shocked. And because I was not well known, but because I was so visible in the community, I went to baby groups, I ran the networking group, I ran the social, lots of people knew me locally. So it was a bit like, shit, like double whammy, where'd you go from there? You know, and we reached out for help. We went to bereavement counselling, like fairly soon, like just you know, the Christmas after. It happened in the May. She was born in the May. And we went around the Christmas after, and we thought we were kind of getting there. But it wasn't until that year anniversary, that I had a massive crash and had a huge break, you know, like, whatever you want to call it, breakdown, or, you know. And I think, and I watch out for that now in other people, that first year anniversary, because I think that's when this thing that happened to you waves this big flag and goes, it's forever, by the way, it's forever.
Yeah, it's every year after this now. It's not just in this time.
You know, this is forever. This is like a forever thing. And you're like, fuck, I've got to deal with this forever. Now, how do I go forward with this? Like, you know. And it took some time. And I went on medication, and I had lots of counselling. I had different types of counselling. I had CBT counselling. And eventually I started to kind of find me again a little bit more.
Yeah. But people, I mean, when you experience something as brutal as the loss of a child, the people around you and in your wider network will often struggle to speak to you about it, because nobody knows the right thing to say. I am blessed in that I have some incredible friends such as yourself, and I have a couple of other friends, sadly, who've lost their children, who desperately want more than anything else to acknowledge the fact that their children were there. And it is so hard for people who it clumsily, because they can't get their head around it, don't know what to say, don't know how to act, you know, frightened of saying the wrong thing, so don't say anything, so then don't acknowledge it, and you're in this whole mess of pain. Or conversely, say all the glib things like, you know, time will
another one.
Or oh God, you
I want to turn around and say, okay, so if you were going to choose one of your children to survive or not survive, what would you choose? That's brutal. That's a brutal answer. I've never said it, but in my head, I'm like, you're basically saying it.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry. It's okay. That one didn't matter. Like that's what you're saying when you're saying that, and it's crazy that you know, because it isn't the natural order of things, and so people are like completely thrown out. So the person experiencing it is like, it's like we said, in this whole heap of mess, and the people around them don't know what to do with it because everything's skewed out of the natural order of things. How did you cope with people like with that, or was you just like on your own path for your own healing? How did you deal with people who didn't know what to do with you?
Well, to start with, like, you obviously navigate in a place that you've never been in. To start with, it was like, they've just crossed the road. I absolutely know they've just crossed the road because they don't know what to say. And it broke my heart, but at the same time, I know the thing is, I could relate to it because just 5 weeks before, my sister-in-law's baby had died, and I didn't know what to say.
You didn't know what to say.
I was like, what do I say? How do I, like, you know, and being pregnant myself, it's like, how do you? So I had an element of, I kind of get where you're coming from because I've just experienced where you're coming from, but now I'm on the other side of it as well. And I'm like, so this was, I remember specifically, I went to pregnancy yoga when I was pregnant with Bethan, and I remember specifically who the person was. She was walking down the street. We'd been at pregnancy yoga together, and she was like, quick cross the road.
Wow, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'm just not going to make myself feel that uncomfortable. God. What about you? And your discomfort? So you started some fundraising endeavors and what have you. You was in newspapers about. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So right from the very beginning, I wrote, and you'll get this, I wrote stuff down. And I didn't write stuff down with the intention of, I'm going to make it a blog, I'm going to make it this, I'm going to make it that. I wrote stuff down because I was like, I need to process how I'm feeling. I'll write stuff down.
You need to put it somewhere.
And a lot of it came out in poems and verses and that verse type. So then I was like, do you know what? And I was writing them on my phone. I was like, do you know what? I am going to put them in a blog. And I did, because I wanted to share them, but I didn't want to just stick them straight on Facebook and then someone be like scrolling along, go, that's just taking my feet under me. So I put it in a blog, and then what I put on my Facebook page was that I've started a blog. If you want to go and read it, you can go here. It's about, everyone it was about anyway. So it gave them that opportunity to then go, right, now I'm in a quiet space and I want to read it, and now I'm ready to have a look. Mm-hmm. So I started sharing a lot of stuff that way as a part of a healing journey. Mm-hmm. And then as I went along, it just became kind of natural to be like, that instinct of I need to give back to the situation, to the people that helped me, to the people that were there for me, and the maternity ward where I had her has a separate section for bereavement.
Bereaved parents,
yeah. So they've got 2 rooms that are like little mini flats. So you've got like what's like typical hospital room, and then an adjoining door and a little like flat type of thing with a sofa bed and stuff. And when I had her, I stayed there for 2 or 3 days. And my mum was able to stay as well, because obviously I'd got a little boy at home. So my husband went to look after the little boy at home.
Yeah.
So she was able to stay with me. And that part of the hospital. And then, a lot of people do, oh, it's my birthday, I'm going to do a fundraiser. I was like, oh, shall I do that? Shall I not do that? I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it around her birthday. And goes, do you know what? I contacted the bereavement midwife, said, I'm going to raise some money for you. What do you need? What do you want? I don't want to buy something and it be not right. Let me know what you want and I'll fundraise it for. She's like, well, I want to have a mural on the wall to make it look less clinical. Yeah. Whatever you can do towards that will be great. I said, look, just tell me how much it is. Give me that as a target and I will fundraise for the lot. Like, just tell me. Like, oh my goodness. I mean, it was only like, turned out to be £350 that she needed. I was like, it's fine. We'll fundraise for that.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we can do that in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So I started this fundraiser, and I also had lots of sewing classes and craft classes planned, but then COVID hit. So then I had to cancel all those because I've got loads of stuff left from my sewing school. I was like, I'll do some craft classes. I'll use my old stock and do them. Anyway, so I did the fundraiser, and then we ended up with, I think it was just under £2,000 fundraise. I was like, right, we've got £2,000. What else do you need? Send me a shopping list. She's like, don't give me the money because it'll get lost within.
It'll get sucked up in red tapeness.
Yeah, she said. If you don't mind, I will send you the stuff. I'll send you a list. You buy it and we'll get you to bring it in, which I haven't been in yet because they're still trying to work out how I can get in to see the mural and to bring the stuff in. And they wanted pillows, bedspreads, tea and coffee and biscuits that are just a little bit different to the
nicer. Yeah. It's a nicer experience.
Yeah. So that was super, super cool to be able to do that. And when I was doing that, I was like, let's get some leverage behind it. And got in a couple of newspapers, shared the story. And part of the reason I wanted to do that is because, going back to what you said, the reason why people don't speak to you when these things happen is because they don't know what to say, is because people don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. Yes,
that's
exactly.
That's why they don't know what to say, because nobody talks about it. If you're not practiced at something, you don't know how to do it. If you don't know how to stand up and talk about your business because you haven't practiced it, you don't know how to do it. It's
exactly.
the same. Yeah. So I was like, do you know what? I think, part of it is to, get that out there and get the message out there. So, yeah.
It's just amazing. And I know for a lot of you that are watching this morning, that's a little bit of a hard listen. But one of the reasons why we do talk about these things on the show is, yes, of course, we're supporting Claire and we're supporting her, her ventures. But the reason why we do this show is to share the stories that bring people to where they are now. And where you are now isn't a bad spot, Claire Clarke.
I'm on the telly. Without being scared, I would literally jump out of my skin at traffic noise, and now I'm on the telly. And
it's amazing.
It took some time for me to build myself back up, and I went through this journey to build myself back up. And then what I did was like, hang on, I've just built myself back up here, like winging it on my own, like doing this. I need to help other women do this. So I set up a group to help other women, not specifically around losing their babies or childbirth or bereavement. I set up a group to help women, mums, who felt like motherhood had taken over so much they didn't know who they were anymore. I don't know who I am. I don't know what my identity is. I don't know what I like. I don't know what I'm interested in. I don't know who I am. And I set up this group and supporting all of these mums, and it was fantastic. And I still run it quietly in the background. And during this, I was making things for them. Like, here's a worksheet. We're going to do this worksheet about what you see your motherhood is now. What do you want your motherhood to be? Things, And then I was like, do you know what I could do with putting this in a book? It'd be better if I could give them this in a book. And that's where it all started. I was solving my own problem. So I toddled off and went, right, I'm going to solve this problem. And then I learned how to do what I do now, which is self-publish the notebook through print on demand, because I didn't want to have all of
boxes and boxes of stuff.
Yeah, of these how to find yourself again type of thing. So I was making these, and I was like, oh, it's nice to have a notebook. Let's have a notebook. Making all these things. And then I went on to go, right, I'm going to develop this business further, and went into a course with Lisa Johnson, which was Passion for Passes, which is now their One to Many, which is super cool.
It is really good.
Yeah. And during there, a part of it, when I did it, I'm sure it's the same this time, was like, what's your thing? What's your thing? What you
and there's whenever you have a business, having a thing, it's necessary. Otherwise, you've not got anything, and then no one knows what you're selling.
Yeah. And part of that, and basically, I came to this kind of discovery of like, and I can make these books. And then a couple of people in the group was like, oh, can you make me a puppy training planner? Can you make me a career planner? And I'm like, yeah, I can. And I was like, light bulb moment. Yeah, I can. And I'm super excited about it. So then I decided to go, do you know what? I'm going to take this mum support business, and I'm going to take this bookmaker thing, and I'm just going to flip them. I'm going to flip them and see what happens.
Yeah.
The mum thing is now going to become a hobby, and the book thing is going to be a business. And I'm just going to go all in, and I'm going to see if this is going to work. And I was like, Dani, do you need a notebook?
And I was like, girl, I need a notebook.
And for 6 months, I didn't have a business name. I didn't have a business name. I didn't have a website. I didn't have a Facebook page. I didn't have a group. And I was like, I have got so much work. I'm onto something here, and I'm super enjoying it. And that was the difference. I was like, I'm really, really enjoying this. Yeah. And
that's the difference, isn't it? That's a huge difference. And we talked about this yesterday. We talk about this a lot. We've already touched upon it this morning. When you really believe in the thing that it is that you're doing, you can't help but do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because you give a shit about it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to do it. It's a no-brainer when you get out of bed in the morning. Even better when you get to the point where you can start outsourcing all the jobs that you don't really like so much anymore. Like, I couldn't wait to get an accountant, an assistant, and an operations manager. But when you do start up, even when you do those things that are a bit of a pain in the backside and maybe not within your strengths area, you don't mind doing them because you so believe in what it is that you're doing. And it's just brilliant. I mean, it's been brilliant to watch.
Fantastic.
And like right now, you're in the middle of your launch, and you're absolutely ripping it up.
I know, and I'm loving it. And I need to keep remembering to breathe when I go, and I'm going live and going, right, so I'm so excited about this because I love it.
It's hot. It's not. I would always say, like, don't contain your excitement. Let that excitement bubble over, because it is that excitement that people see and they feel it, and these, it's that the people want a bit of that. That's what they want. Yeah. So have you any tips for anybody out there who is thinking about a planner, who is thinking about a notebook, who is thinking about any kind of merchandise? Because I know you touch on other things as well, don't you? It's not just like that's the only thing that you focus on within your business, and I want to make that clear to everybody. Yeah. What would your suggestion be? You've got so you do print, you do apparel, and all of that sort of stuff. What tips would you give to people who are considering having some sort of merchandise associated with their business?
So as excited I am as I get as about like notebooks, because they look cool and they're amazing, and this parallel works in all business, but I'm also really passionate about that you don't have it for the sake of it. Don't just have a cool t-shirt because of the sake of it. So the tip I would give is make sure that whoever you are working with, or however you decide to do this, that your branded products becomes a cog within your business, not just this is cool to have.
Yeah, so this looks flash.
Nice. Now what? Yeah, now what? I know making sure that works a cog within your business. So when you bring those branded products in, that they are bringing you an income stream, even if it's only a small one, because sometimes margins are tight depending on what you're doing.
Right.
Sometimes margins can be huge as well, but make sure it still is bringing you an income, because
Right.
I'm all about income streams.
Right.
Making sure that works with everything else. So just because, so let's take Dani's book, for example. Her book is on Amazon. And she's got her website on the back of it, because you cannot assume that the only people that are going to find it are the people that already know her. Right. They won't be. People will type in yellow and black notebook, they'll type in B, they'll type inspired, and then her notebook is going to come up. So you want to make sure that whatever you do with your branded products, it's a bit like when we talk about funnels, that you've got I call them breadcrumbs. You've got breadcrumbs on there that lead them back to where you want the people to be.
Right.
Lead them back to where are you trying to send people? Is it your website? Is it your group? Is it your Instagram? Is it wherever you want people to go? Should always be incorporated within your branded products, so that it becomes a cog within the rest of your business. It's not just, isn't it cool to have a pink t-shirt?
Absolutely. So the way that, for again, one of the ways that I think about this is within my merch line, because it was imperative to me that I had a merch line from the start. My brand's quite cool. It's quite edgy. And also it's predominantly, in the first instance, although we do the real life events and I do in real life experiences, it is online. So social proofing and within social media is really important to me. So I have really striking branding. I have really catchy phrases, and I have them emblazoned on t-shirts or on varsity jackets, so that when people get them, they are so excited and they look so cool that they want to take a picture. Then they're going to tag me in it. Then they're going to use the hashtag. Then they're going to, and again, all of this social proofing allows you to position yourself. Like, she's got her own varsity jacket. That was pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, all of that sort of stuff allows for other people to see that you are well positioned. If you have a look at somebody who's just starting out, who maybe doesn't have a merchandise line, whatever that looks like, it's another asset that you've got in your business that allows yourself to be positioned. I think you've got someone who needs, we've got a couple of people that wanted conversations with you off the back of you sharing with us this morning, which is brilliant. So what I would like to ask you, Claire, is would it be okay if you was to share the links to how we can hang out with you, how we can find out more? Lisa Jane's so excited that she's put the link to your merchandise course already in the comments. So thank you, Lisa Jane, for that. She's so excited.
That's why she knows what's going down, because she's on that. So
she knows the good stuff that's popping off right now. So you guys can get amongst it if you would like to. The links on there. Claire will pop down the other links for the things that she's associated with, so that you can find out more and go and hang out more with her, which I highly recommend. My life is richer for having you in it, Claire Clarke. I can't just say your name. I can't just say Claire. It's Claire Clarke, isn't it? People say the same to me when they meet me. Oh, it's Dani Wallace. And I'm like, I know it's not. It's just Dani or Daniela went on Sundays and when I'm in trouble. But Claire Clarke, thank you for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure to talk to you. You inspire so many people, and the work that you do now is phenomenal. I am pleased and proud to be associated with you and to be using your goods and services. You are wonderful. I love you. I'm going to pop you backstage. That was Claire Clarke, everybody. What an absolute inspiration. We will be putting a trigger warning on the title of this episode today. We were talking about childhood loss. If you just joined us, you want to go back and watch it again. The whole point of this show is that we share topics that might be uncomfortable to listen to, but the reason why we share them is the more that we talk about them, the less uncomfortable that we get, and the better able that we are to support each other on our journeys to show up, wise up, and rise up. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I'm going to be back first thing with the gorgeous Lisa Hawkyard, talking about all things mindset, talking about her journey to becoming the incredible mindset coach that she is. She's an associate coach for the incredible Lisa Johnson. She's got all sorts going on, loads of things to be talking about tomorrow. If mindset is something that you need to be working on, you need to be joining us 8 o'clock tomorrow with the gorgeous Lisa Hawkyard for the Show Up, Wise Up, Rise Up show. In the meantime, if you want to get speaking about what it is that you do, you are going to need to be a part of the Be Heard So You Want to Be a Speaker Challenge on the 28th of September. The link is along the bottom. You will see this pop up on my feed. You will see it in the IATQB Hive. Make sure you're joining us. Oh, look what I did. I got rid of this. There we go. It's spelled like this, IATQB. Make sure you come and join the hive. Come and carry on the conversation. Come and share with us your challenges. Come and share with us your successes. Let us help you and cheer you along the way. Have an incredible day. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I love you.